Something wild went down at Falcons-Titans joint practice today. And it wasn't just football. Helmets were flying. Words were shouted. Tempers boiled over until the practice field turned into a battleground. I'm talking multiple brawls, star players getting in the mix, and a level of intensity that tells you this team is ready to fight for every inch this season. But was it passion or was it recklessness? Let's break down every explosive moment. Falcons fans, today's joint practice with the Tennessee Titans was absolute chaos. This wasn't just a few shoves after the whistle. This was a full-on series of fights that had players, coaches, and even fans buzzing. And when I say multiple, I mean 4 different flare-ups in one practice session. It all started with a one-on-one rep that got way too personal. A.J. Terrell was lined up against Calvin Ridley. Terrell got beat. It happens. But Ridley didn't just jog back to the huddle. He celebrated right in Terrell's face, throwing a little dance, chirping to the fans, letting everyone know exactly who won that rep. That was all it took. The temperature on the field shot up instantly. Terrell fired back. Titans players stepped in. Falcons players ran over. Within seconds, words turned to shoves and shoves turned to fists. One fight got so out of control that it delayed practice for nearly 10 minutes. And here's the thing, these weren't just bench guys trying to make a name for themselves. We're talking about key starters. Michael Penix Jr., QB1, was right in the middle of the chaos. Offensive tackle Caleb McGarry, fresh off his extension, jumped in to back up his teammates. Even Casey Washington, who's been filling in for the injured Darnell Mooney, got involved. Look, I love the fire. I love the passion. I want a team that's ready to throw down and show no fear heading into Week 1 against Tampa Bay. But there's a fine line. These players have a season to win, and one wrong punch or twisted ankle in a brawl could change everything. Still, watching that kind of intensity, you can't help but feel like this team is locked in and ready for war. So, Falcons fans, was this exactly the kind of fire you want to see before Week 1? Or was it an unnecessary risk? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Rate your confidence in this team after today's drama, 1 to 10. And yes, Chris Lindstrom was right in the middle of the chaos too. Say what you want about these fights. You don't want them. But you can't deny one thing. This team is standing up for each other. If one guy is in the fire, they're all in it. But now we've got to talk about something way less fun, the injuries. Because even though the fights were grabbing all the headlines, there was another big storyline today. The Falcons were missing a lot of players. 10 guys. That's right, 10 players didn't practice. Now, that doesn't mean all 10 are dealing with fresh injuries, but some of these absences are major red flags. You already know Darnell Mooney's been sidelined. But joining him on the no-go list today were Jamal Agnew, Clark Phillips, Kobe Bryant, Keith Taylor, Malik Verdon, Troy Anderson, Tyrone Wheatley Jr., Storm Norton, and Taquan Graham. The newest concerns? Kobe Bryant and Taquan Graham. Both went down in yesterday's joint practice. Bryant with a hamstring, Graham with a calf injury. Head coach Raheem Morris didn't sugarcoat it. He said it's unfortunate for both guys, which tells you this might be more than just a quick fix. And here's why it matters. The injury bug doesn't care if it's August or December. It's creeping into Atlanta's camp right now. You start stacking up these absences, and suddenly your depth gets tested fast. Which is exactly why all that fighting is a double-edged sword. Yes, it shows heart, but one wrong hit in a scuffle could turn a small problem into a season-altering one. This team's walking a tightrope. They've got the fire, but they can't afford to burn themselves before Week 1 even arrives. Falcons fans, be real with me. Are you more worried about the injury list or pumped up by the fight you're seeing in this team? Drop your take in the comments, injury concern or confidence boost. Falcons fans, the fights weren't the only fireworks today. The offense and defense were putting on a show, and a few players stepped into the spotlight in a big way. Let's start with Ray McCloud. My goodness, this man cooked Marcus Harris so bad on a deep ball, you could practically smell the smoke. It was one-on-one man coverage, and Ray gave him a little shimmy, a quick shake, and then, boom, he was gone. Michael Penix Jr. saw it instantly, dropped back, and launched a perfect bomb down the field. Touchdown. Just like that. That's the kind of aggressive, vertical passing we've been waiting to see, and Penix hasn't been shy about it against the Titans. He's been pushing the ball deep, taking his shots, and letting his speed guys make plays. For a rookie QB, that's the confidence you love to see. Now, speaking of quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins made some noise of his own. In 11 on 11 drills, he looked sharp, poised, and completely in control. Pocket presence? Perfect. Throws? On point. The shoulder that kept him out last year? Looks just fine. And let's be real, Cousins is probably the best backup QB in the NFL right now, hands down. But here's the truth. This is Michael Penix Jr.'s team. Raheem Morris even said if he were Kirk, he wouldn't be thrilled about riding the bench, and honestly, you can understand that. Cousins still believes he can start, and part of me believes it too. But right now, the Falcons are building around Penix. On defense, the safeties were everywhere. Xavier Woods made an incredible play, jumping a route in the end zone for a touchback interception. And he's not alone. DeMarco Hellams is making plays. Jesse Bates continues to be an absolute menace. I said yesterday this safety group was maybe top 3 in the league. I'm done being cautious. It's number 1. Period. The front 7 got in on the action too. Rook Orhorhoro and Jared Verse JPJ collapsed the pocket on Cam Ward, forcing him to roll out, and he threw a pick right into the hands of D. Alford, who was in perfect position to snag it. And let's give credit where it's due. Reports from coaches and beat writers all agree Rook Orhorhoro isn't just having a good camp, he's having the kind of camp that gets people talking league-wide. All right, Falcons fans, after hearing about today's highlight reel, who's impressing you more? Michael Penix Jr. airing it out, or this defense stacking turnovers? Drop your answer in the comments. Offense or defense? Who's winning camp right now? Heading into this preseason clash with the Titans, there are a few things the Falcons must bring to the table if they want to keep building momentum. First, defensive intensity. We saw it in Week 1 against Detroit. The Falcons came out swinging, hitting hard, and setting the tone from the first snap. That energy needs to show up again. This defense has the potential to bully an opponent, but that only happens if every snap is played like it's the last one of the game. Second, the run game. Yes, Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier were out in the opener, so the ground attacks started slow. But this week, I want to see the third and fourth string backs create their own space, even if the second and third team offensive linemen aren't opening perfect lanes. Great running backs find a way. I want to see someone step up and earn their spot. And then there's Kirk Cousins. If he plays, I want the coaching staff to let him throw, let him run the offense, let him cook. Because here's the reality, there's a chance no team trades for him, and he spends the entire season as Atlanta's backup. If that's the case, we need to know for sure that he can step in at any moment and lead this team to the playoffs. That's the standard. Finally, the rookie edge rushers. Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. didn't exactly fill the stat sheet last week, but it wasn't for lack of effort. They flashed, but now it's time to finish plays. I want to see Raheem Morris scheme them into positions where they can disrupt the backfield, rack up sacks, and blow up running plays for losses. Those guys weren't drafted to blend in. They were drafted to take over games. The Titans are a tough, physical team. This is the kind of game where you find out who's ready to go to war on Sundays. Falcons fans, what's the number 1 thing you want to see in this Titans game? More defensive fire, a stronger run game, or the rookie pass rushers breaking out? Drop your answer in the comments and let's talk about it.